This is Rory Andrews for Swarmio eSports for your eSport Roundup for July 17th, 2017. Overwatch might be sued by Major League Baseball, eSports is coming to cable in a big way, and Yahoo Finance successfully insulted the entire eSports community in one headline. This is Rory, I've had too much coffee, cue bumper. So, the Overwatch League might be sued by the MLB for trademark infringement. This is based on the Overwatch League trademark. You can see that here. Mike will take care of that in post. And the MLB trademark logo here. We say might because when a trademark is put in for copyright, other companies have 30 days in order to sue them for trademark infringement. The 30 days was coming up, and the MLB put in a 90-day extension in order to decide whether they want to sue the Overwatch League or not. If you look at these two logos, you might notice some similarities. There's the two tones of the logos going on. We have the dark gray and the orange of the Overwatch League and the red, white, and blue of the MLB. We have Tracer over here looking over to the right side, shooting at somebody, and you have the MLB baseball man hitting a ball, because that's what they do in the baseballs. And they're both rectangles. So on the surface, yeah, they look very similar. But here's the question. Why didn't Major League Baseball sue MLG? And you'll see their logo here. It's getting crowded in here. The MLG logo is a controller with red, white, and blue, the same colors as the MLB. And let's get right into esports and talk about the NBA. We got a player, red, white, and blue. So why is the MLB thinking about suing the Overwatch League? Well, for one thing, they can, because the trademark infringement was 30 days ago. But for another thing, it could be because of the cash on the line here. Blizzard and Activision recently announced 7 teams in the upcoming Overwatch League, some that include the owners. The owners of these are pretty interesting. New England Patriots parent company Kraft Group took the Boston spot. That's going to be in Boston. NRG, owned by the Sacramento Kings co-owners, will take the San Francisco spot, and the Miami Heat-owned Misfits will take the Miami spot, as you might think. There will also be teams in New York, Shanghai, Seoul, and Los Angeles. And these teams reportedly spent $20 million on Overwatch franchise spots, and that's a lot of money. The only comparable thing in esports ever was the League of Legends spots that sold for about $1.8 million, but this is about 12 times more than that. So the MLB might be seeing dollar signs on this one. And this $20 million price tag cost 7 pro Overwatch teams to fold within a week under the sheer burden of financial stress, because they just couldn't compete with these pro teams. So what do you think? Is this a good idea for teams to jump in? $20 million in an untested league? It starts this fall, and we'll see how it goes. Next story. Esports is coming to TV in a big way. It's already on TBS, but it's coming to Disney. You know Disney. They own ABC, Marvel, Star Wars, My Childhood, A&E, ESPN, among other things, a number of children's souls, Miley Cyrus. Yes, they are getting into the esports scene with 2 30-minute television shows. The first, they're teaming up with ESL, the league that just brought us ESL Cologne in Germany, where we saw SK Gaming win the CSGO competition. That was last weekend. That was a really good match. They played Cloud9, and it was a real nail-biter. I suggest you look it up. It's on YouTube. But they are coming out with the first 30-minute television show, ESL Brawlers, which will follow 2 pro Street Fighter V players. There'll be a little documentary, and they'll finish the show with the match, which I think is great. It's going to sound like one of those Olympic things that NBC did when they filmed the Olympics and it wasn't that good. But they'll have documentaries about the players, they'll go on, it's going to be like a reality show. Their next 30-minute television show, which will come on directly after, this is late night programming, 10 to 11, is going to be ESL Speedrunners, which will follow some of the top speedrunners in the world try to beat world records in various games, which could be very fun because a lot of speedrunning records are around 30 minutes. So it could be just watching people play video games the whole time. One of the interesting things is these aren't going to be on YouTube or Twitch, kind of the home of esports and where they got started. These are just going to be on cable, and I don't know if they're aware of this, but most of the people who watch esports cut the cord a long time ago. You remember cable, that thing you used to spend money on in 2010? Other things coming to cable, we have TBS filming the E-League Road to the International 2 Dota Championships. This is following players, announcers, and streamers to the Dota 2 International Championships that has a current prize pool of $21.7 million. Dota 2 is crazy. They've got the biggest prize pools. It's because they sell things and it's complicated, but that's a lot of money. That's going to be a documentary series that follows it, and TBS has been a big supporter of esports with the E-League, with their CSGO competitions. The Atlanta Turner Broadcasting, he owns most of Montana. Wonderful guy, pretty crazy. And Rocket League is coming to the X Games on ESPN. With a $75,000 prize pool. It's going to be the newest X game, and it's going to be on TV, and it's going to be exciting because Rocket League's super cool to watch because you don't need to know anything about it. It's toy cars trying to hit soccer balls into goals. Super fun time. Just give it a shot. I promise you, you're going to like it. And for our final story, Yahoo Finance insults all of esports players in one shot in a headline. They recently came out with a story titled, "The next Tom Brady could be more couch potato than chiseled athlete with the rise of new esports league." They were, of course, talking about the Overwatch League. It's the biggest news story in esports right now. But they really don't understand that video games have really come out of the basement. We're not just all asthma nerds anymore. We're not chip eating. Would you get away from that ideal? Okay, I would like to direct you to the recent exhibition soccer match, football, for your Europeans out there, between SK Gaming and Virtus.Pro. This took place in Cologne, Germany, in Cologne ESL, and it was against SK Gaming, the Brazilian #1 CSGO team in the world, and Virtus.Pro, Russian favorites. And they were playing soccer, and they were actually really good. You can watch it on YouTube, link below. And not to mention, Virtus.Pro has on their team this guy named like Pasha, his name. I think that means bear, maybe in Ukrainian. He's Ukrainian. And dude's got biceps on his biceps. He's got arms that could murder you, and that's probably why his gamer tag is called Pasha Biceps. And not to mention, these pro gaming houses, they usually have pro chefs making their meals and physical trainers to make sure that these gamers are in the top condition to play these games. Like, pro gaming is a mind, body, soul endeavor to play at this level. You can't just come in half asleep and expect to win. I'm going out on a limb here, but I'm saying pro gamers probably healthier than your normal, average, everyday person. So Yahoo Finance, slow your roll, do some fact checking, and stop insulting an industry that's growing by leaps and bounds every single day, because I'll tell you one thing, Yahoo's not. What's Yahoo? What's a Yahoo? All right, this has been Rory Spacepug Andrews for Swarmio Esports, and I'm gonna drink more coffee. Goodbye.